Hello, you intrepid crowdfunding enthusiasts. Welcome to a retrospective upon the last few years of crowdfunding. This is something that I've been doing, and I've been scoring myself based upon what I did and how well I did. So the current score down below is 28 to 11. I'm scoring myself as viciously as possible because I want to make sure that if I'm recommending games, I'm going to be recommending them harshly, completely harshly, and with a fine-tooth comb, and not giving any leeway to just fine games, even though I say that they're probably just fine. It doesn't matter. Even when my patron who purchased 9 Minute Kingdom said, you should give yourself back the point, I'm saying no. I'm going to be as vicious as possible because you deserve the best. And speaking of the best, I want to give a huge shout out to CCZ Solo. I'm wearing their earbuds right now, and in fact, I was wearing them for an entire 40 minutes as I recorded this entire unboxing. Most of the crowdfunding countdown retrospective, okay, the first couple episodes. Much to my chagrin, my microphone wasn't working, but you know what was working? These earphones. So if you're in the market for a pair of earphones, you can check them out. They're pretty inexpensive, and they've got a pretty good sound quality so far. Huge shout out goes to KeepHifi for sponsoring this video and this episode, and thanks very much. I appreciate it. So let's get into the week. Let's get into the week of weeks. Starting with, again, if we go down to this crowdfunding countdown master list, I have links to every single campaign that I've looked at and a link to the YouTube video where I looked at them. You can see inexperienced YouTube Chris started this off on January 10th and didn't realize that there wasn't that much to cover. So the first couple of weeks and campaigns aren't that good. However, I am going to give myself 2 points for this first episode, mainly because I picked the Palaces of Carrara, the Palaces of Carmen Carrara, or Carrara if you're nasty, and then I picked nothing for you. I said, don't buy anything, and I'm going to give myself a point for that. In the first time I recorded this, I noodled back and forth, but then I decided I will give myself a point for that, because there wasn't anything else that's great. Ancient Blood has taken 3 years and still hasn't delivered yet, and that is one that I could have picked. I could have also picked the Gloom of Killforth, or the Call of Killforth, or the Pun of Killforth, but they did a horrible Pimp My Gloom pun on their Kickstarter campaign that I still haven't forgotten 3 years later. Couldn't tell you anything about the game. What I remember is them saying, here's a little Pimp My Ride pun. Pimp My Gloom! And that infuriated me beyond all measure. I think you've probably gathered this about me, but I like to beat a dead horse. And things that annoy me might annoy me forever. Kind of like why I will never purchase Vlasic pickles, and nobody else ever should. This is, I guess, my unhinged rant for the video. A friend of mine, my friend Billy, who I played Inish with, was watching the other video and was like, hey, thanks, shout out to you for teaching us Inish. And I was like, oh yeah, that rant got unhinged. I tried to throw at least one of them into that video, and he's like, oh, I've noticed. So this is this one. I don't know if I've talked about Vlasic pickles before, but you're going to hear my diatribe, and you're not going to be able to skip through it. So, okay, there's a company called Vlasic Pickles, and they had this commercial. I gotta come back to you for this. They had this commercial, because it's important. They had this commercial where there are these two kids. There's these two kids who are just sitting around eating pickles, as kids do, and one's eating a pickle, and the kid asks the other kid, and the kid says, hey, are your pickles crunchy? And she's like, no. And the other kid's like, are your pickles juicy? And she's like, no. And the other kid says, then what are they? They're crunchy and juicy. They're Vlasic. One, you should have said yes to both of those questions, little girl. Because yes, the question isn't, are they crunchy and juicy? The question, hey, is your pickle crunchy right now? And if the answer is yes, don't lie. You're teaching everybody that lying is okay, okay? 2, you should have said yes to when it's juicy, because it was juicy. And 3, what sort of pickle isn't crunchy and juicy? That's my question. I saw this commercial, I don't know, 10 years ago. I think about it every week, every single week. Anytime somebody bites into a pickle, anytime somebody's at the store, I hope Vlasic goes out of business. Because, and I stand by this, having been in commercials, yes, I was the McDonald's guy who got so excited that he punched his friend's tray of food right into his face and then they had to go get takeout. It was the Super Bowl, and I stand by that as well. One, a commercial should be designed to inform you about the product and to sell it to you, I guess. And the fact that it repulsed me so utterly means that they just completely missed the mark. You just be like, hey, our pickles are good. Classic. That would have been a much better. Actually, if there's any pickle companies out there, give me a call. I'll do it at a lower rate, but I am union, so I still have to charge you something. Actually, you could sponsor this YouTube channel because you can certainly get a cheaper ad here than me as an actor. Doesn't matter. Give me a call if you're a pickle company, because I'll give you the best friggin' commercial of your life. And Vlasic, I'm coming for you. And I'm never eating you ever again. Or once. Because okay, my third point is, what's the point of a pickle? Have you ever had a pickle that wasn't crunchy or that wasn't juicy? If it's crunchy and not juicy, it's a carrot. If it's just juicy, it's soup or bread and butter pickles. And they fall into a category of their own. It's dill or nothing. Kind of lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah, a pimp my ride pun. It's not a pun, Call of Killforth. It's not a pun. And I don't care that your game has an 8.0. I'm glad I didn't pick it, and I stand by it. So Palaces of Carrara. You can see where I got to when I found out that my microphone wasn't working. Palaces of Carrara, the deluxe edition actually got a 7.5. It beat its previous edition, so that's why I'm giving myself a point. I'm also giving myself a point because there was no other thing that I wanted to highlight or to talk about. On to the next episode, which also was a heck of a lot of nothing. You can see why we're starting Crowdfunding Countdown next week. You can see why we're doing another thing of Necromancer next week. And so we had a pick for me, and we had no pick for you again. No pick for you because everything looked like trash. Even though Dom Pierre, I almost picked, and I don't think it did well. I need to look up Dom Pierre because I haven't done that one. I don't think people liked it. 6.9. Oh man, see, I feel so good that there was no pick because Dom Pierre would have been the pick. It would have been like, this is kind of viticulture-esque, but I thought it looked overcomplicated, and I'm glad that nobody likes it, really. Well, I'm not glad that nobody likes it. I mean, I'm if you have it and you like it, I'm very glad that you like it, but I'm glad that I didn't pick it because then I would have lost points in this arbitrary system. So I give myself 3 points. Currently it is 3-0. However, I have terrible news to report because Blazon from 25th Century Games, who I really do like, was my pick for me, and it came in at a 6.8. And I was hemming and hawing, and I was reading the rules again, and I was trying to look back on it, and then I was looking at the breakdowns, and I thought, okay, can I give myself a 0 point? Can I argue this? And then I saw this review for Interesting Theme, Not an Interesting Play. Play is restrictive, doesn't really feel like there's much choice by Vault Boy, and if Vault Boy gives it a 4, I'm giving myself 2 negative points. That's just the rule. Vault Boy, I'm sorry that I've let you down, that you purchased Blazon, and I wish I could have kept you away from this horrid game. So I'm giving myself -2 points for this. Seriously, -2. The score is 3-2 right now because I can't accept that. I can't accept letting Vault Boy, of all people, down. I will spank myself off camera as well in recompense. So now we're caught up from those two. We're kind of blazing through these two because I've already done this, and so I know you don't have to see me figure it out in real time. I know in real time. And so our next one, we have the pick for me and the pick for you. The pick for me was Yucatan, and the pick for you was Mikatan. Sorry, no, Skytear Horde. So Skytear Horde, we're gonna get a point for, and I'm glad. I'm always very skeptical and very scared about I don't know why. It's pretty stupid. They didn't do a paid playthrough. They just sent me a copy for review. Like, I wasn't doing paid playthroughs at that time. So they sent me a copy for review, and I played it as a solo game. And I was like, I think this is good. But I also am like so scared about solo games and recommending them since I don't play that many solo games, and like I don't want to advise on something that I'm not like an expert in. As you can see from my 72% win rating on predicting campaigns so far. But now worse because I let Vault Boy down, and I will hate myself forever because of it. But yeah, so I'm really happy that Skytear Horde gets a 7.5 because I wanted to make sure that other people enjoyed it. and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was like, it was fun to go through the different decks and the different people. Main entry, just too swingy on base level no matter how you build your deck. Favorite solo playing experience, oh nice. Absolutely love this game. I expected it to be great when I backed it. Honestly surprised by how strong I feel after a dozen plays. Spent like 4 hours. It's like Magic the Gathering. Sold the Magic the Gathering in a good way. Got the box for 25. Feels like a decent deal. Great. More plays has dropped from a 9 to an 8. The more I play, the more I get frustrated with the timing questions and all the weird rule questions that pop up. Yeah, but in general, it seems to be a nice, a well-received game, and so I'm very excited and very happy that I did the pick for you, especially if you're a solo gamer. Let me know if you've got Skytear Horde and if you agree with this, agree with like sort of the 7.5. I like that at 7.5. I thought it was good. I also thought it was kind of good, so I'm glad that that worked. We're at 4-2 right now. 4 for good boys, 2 for naughty bad boys because of me, and I'm about to get another naughty bad boy score as well, because we have Yucatan, which is at a 6.6. This is definitely a negative point for me. This was a pick for me. I mean, I did say that I was like, it looks too expensive, don't get it. But I think I also got sucked in by the designer's pedigree. Some of the comments in here are saying, yeah, given the pedigree, the game was completely ignored by reviewers. Some of the comments in here are not complimentary. They're saying that it's just like flawed at a very base level. And I would think with the backing of the designer of Kemet, and right, it seemed like there was going to be a really slick area control game here, and it completely dropped off the radar. Yet tried for a streamlined Kemet without the spatial area control and failed pretty badly. Doesn't even achieve the shorter play time that it advertised. Just play Kemet instead. That's basically what most of the reviews are saying down here. So a big miss from me, and I think I probably got swept up in just like trusting the designer, and that's happened to me before. Like that's when I made mistakes. I mean, I backed Ankh. No, I backed Ankh after like a lot of heavy research as well. I mean, I was gonna back Ankh no matter what, all in. But like I was really researched throughout the course of the campaign, and like so researched that I know the changes that happened over the course of development, which made it into a game that I liked less. But that's also what you're potentially backing on Kickstarter, right? You can't predict when those things will happen. Like they did, I remember thinking, oh, this is a cool, like they changed the merge mechanic and they nerfed it to make it less strong. And I was excited for its strength, specifically for its strength. And I remember flagging that when I was reading through the rules. But again, like these sort of things sort of change in design. Trudvang, they took a whole new year. They said, listen, the game's awful. We're going to just revamp it all. We need another year. That's why it took like 5 years to deliver. Anyway, that's too bad about Yucatan. So currently I am sitting at 4 points for being a good boy, 3 points for being a naughty bad boy. This is a bad start, I will admit, but everybody likes an underdog, okay? And you know who people don't like? People who let Vault Boy down. And honestly, we deserve everything that we've got. I do want to highlight there are some other potentials for more scoring conditions. Minus 2 points if it was below 7, and there was a game that was 8.0 that you missed, right? Like if there was a potential that was there, could also be fun. Would require me to search every single game on Board Game Geek, which we're going to get the intern to do, so we might implement that later on. But I thought that was kind of a funny idea. And then 2 points for a pick above 8.0, which I'm fine giving myself double negative points, as you've seen. And so maybe I'll give myself a double positive point at some point to balance the scales. I do like this double down guess before looking at a game. You can pretend to predict its exact BGG rating. If you're within 0.2, then double your earnings for that game. Yeah, I guess I better not predict that it's below. But maybe I can. Maybe I can predict that it's below. Maybe I can negate it that way. I'll be like, listen, I think this is a 6.9. I think what I was presenting was a 6.9. Like Pathfinders, the vibe that Chris of the Past gave, maybe it was 6.9. I don't know. I think we should just keep the point system simple. I think simple's better, but I thought that was kind of funny, so I wanted to. All right, we're moving on to the fourth episode now. Episode 26. Oh no, we were already there. Episode 27. We've hit February, and we've hit whatever this R2-D2 costume is. At least I can make myself laugh. Give me a point for that. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Nah, that was a good one. That's a good pinned comment. My name's Guillaume Parsec, and I don't have a comment. Ooh, this one looks good, though. Okay, great. We've got a bunch of stuff. So we'd Ravaged Star, which is just, I wouldn't have picked that at all, because Ravaged Star is sort of like a miniature-based scribber system, but it raised a bunch of money on GameFound as well, so raised a ton of money there. People who like their minis maybe wanted to check that one out. Boba Mahjong, which was just a standard forgettable card game, I imagine. Let's see what Boba Mahjong is on BGG. I'm gonna guess. I mean, I kind of want to guess like 5.8, but I bet that it doesn't have many ratings. I bet people have been more middle ground of 6. So I'm going to say 6.8. This is a tough game. 6.6. That was within 0.2. Not so tough. Not so tough after all. It's good to have hobbies. Yeah, it's good to have hobbies. Oh, we have Adorablins, which was just, I think it was an RPG game. Then there's Marvel Zombies, which, ooh, what did I say about Marvel Zombies? Yeah, I just said get it at retail. It's going to be too much shipping. Ha! I think that's a point. No, I probably did it as a pick for you. Maybe? Oh no, did I pick Boba Mahjong? Oh no. I do remember picking Total War Rome, though. And I'm interested to see how that turned out, because I was surprised by how cool this one looked. I don't know if it's delivered yet. 7.3, okay. Delivered 2024. 3 times so far. Highly recommend with the fan mode. This project's a disaster. You're in the Ukraine, so I imagine nothing's shipping to you. Played a few games. Community written rulebook and Discord have helped overcome quite poorly written rules. Yeah, people need to just, like, in this day and age, if your rulebook is awful and the first play is bad, people won't give it another chance. They just won't. It's just not going to happen. Only let down by inadequate rules and some poor quality decisions on the components. Choosing replacement. So once you get past the rules are so unclear and incomplete, it becomes a chore. Yeah. So if you can get past the rules, there's some rules ambiguity. Great Empire 4X building game. I'm giving myself a point for this one. I think I did Total War Rome as my pick. I remember. Actually, I know that I did. I remember that I did that. I'm surprised I didn't pick Colab. If I legitimately picked Boba Mahjong, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Like, I'm gonna turn off this computer and camera right now. It's okay. To be fair, I think I wanted to make a Boba Fett's cousin joke. It's with $10. Plays like Jin. If you don't like Jin, go away. That's what I said. Leave the channel, never come back. Okay, I need to go back and look at the reviews for Boba Mahjong. I didn't tell you to get Marvel Zombies, so maybe that is a point. I don't know. Because people were mad. But I think I probably should have told you to get Colab, because I think people liked Colab. Colab's sitting only at a 7.1. Okay, that would have just barely broken the surface. I remember Colab looking not bad. And I know some of my patrons got it. Oh, Boba Fett's cousin, what are you doing to me? It's bubble tea for 2. VJ time. No. Beige Teen. 2-player game mimicking Mahjong where players are gaining 2 cards trying to make sets. Once a set is made, 1 card is kept face up, and the other 2 are in the discard pile. Once 10 cards are played face up, you score in category. Yeah, I think that seems okay. I mean, were we expecting a 7.0 for this $10 card game? The fact that it was $10, I think, swept me up into it. As an avid American and Chinese Mahjong player, this isn't Mahjong. No, it's Jin. Just read the rules. It's an easy set collection game with lots of toppings. It's cute. Cards are not that vibrant. Quick card game. Too simple for serious gamers. Compact and transportable. Offers more replay appeal. Cute game. Because I also could have given you Final Girl. I just don't like... I don't like taking the easy route. Oftentimes, if there's another option to give you as a pick for you, I'm going to highlight that option. It's easy to be like, yeah, come on, Marvel Zombies, right? And then I could argue up the wazoo that Marvel Zombies was a hit, and Marvel Zombies is, rated an 8, right? What's it rated? 7.9. But that just feels too easy to me. So because of that, I picked Boba Mahjong, and because of that, at least I got a point for Total War Rome. I do remember Total War Rome and my excitement for that one, so that is fun to come back and to revisit and to see that people are, semi-enjoying it. But Boba Mahjong, that's my lesson. I can't pick crappy card games for you. Or, moving forward, I need to say, listen, this is a 6.5 game. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. And I'm picking it for the deal. Okay. So that's a negative point. It's a negative point. It's a positive point. What's our score? That's our score. 5-4. This is not looking good. But we're going to go on a run here. We're going to go on a tear. I believe it. I believe in us. Let's go. Oh, yeah, because we had Granja. We had Puzzle Strike. Oh, I might probably pick that one. Yokai Septet, which I've heard good things about. Seems like a neat... Oh, it's Skate Summer in this one. Cool. Okay. So we got a few good ones in this one. I remember Yokai Septet. It's like a trick-taking game with 7 different cards. Puzzle Strike, I remember this-ish feeling okay. Like, surprisingly okay. Just like a simple one. Oh, yeah, Saria. I think I remember they reached out to me, but I think it looked cool. It's a dinosaur park survival game. That one was okay. Sink or Swim. Was this the real Sink or Swim? I think I would have picked this. I picked a Sink or Swim. There was some synchronized swimming game that I picked. I remember that. Hike, as you're hiking, I guess. Some board game bags. If I picked a board game bag, I'm going to give it to myself because that's good. Slippery Jim's here. Oh, Slippery Jim. He loves the whole package. Skate Summer did look fun. I thought Skate Summer looked cool. I guess this is it. Forgettable. Thunder Road Vendetta. I don't think I picked, and I'm completely fine with that. I don't know. I'm like so unexcited to try Thunder Road Vendetta, but I will, and maybe I can have a good time. But I don't know. It seems a bit too just. I'm not a huge race fan anyway. Some might call me a race Est, Finding Anastasia. Oh yeah, that one seems familiar to me as well. Purple Haze. All right, let's see. I hope I didn't pick Puzzle Strike. Okay, I gotta look up Puzzle Strike 2 first. I hope I picked Puzzle Strike. Okay, yeah, a lot of games. So the wrap up for this one was there's a lot of games that look really good, but their price does not hit the enthusiasm. Puzzle Strike was probably one of those. Okay, come on. Okay, so I said Skate Summer, Soria, Puzzle Strike 2, all could be in contention. Soria 7.8, Skate Summer 7.3. I shouted all of those out. That's pretty good. I said they all could be in contention, but they were all too expensive. But then I picked Yokai Septet, which I feel like is well regarded because it was kind of a reprint as well. 2018. 7.4, Yokai Septet. That feels reasonable. It was the cheapest of the week. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind when I play Thunder Road Vendetta, but I'm still like not excited about it, even when I know people really like it. I don't know what that says, but I think it says that it was never going to be in contention. So Yokai Septet, okay, that's 7.4. I think that gives me a point. That definitely gives me a point. It's just an easy trick-taking game. Prefer 4 players. 2-player game is fantastic. All these ratings are good, but you can play it on Board Game Arena, I guess. What does this lead us to? Oh, that was just a link to VGA. 9, I'd like to rate it as an 11. With 3 players, it's the best trick-taking game I've ever played. I don't care for most co-op games, including this one. I'm pretty picky regarding trick-taking games, meaning that I feel mediocre about the average trick-taking game. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, 7.4, that feels nice. Oh, somebody was mentioning the newest Kickstarter, I think. Kickstarter, I tried the new 2-player rules, thought it was good, not my first choice. Hope other player counts are gammon. Still at a 7. 7.4. Okay, great. So we're at 6 good boys out of 4. And then the pick for you, Board Game Bag, from our good friends at BoardGameTables.com. Before the rebrand. Yeah, I'm giving myself a point for this as well. We're putting myself at 7-4 because I really genuinely, having a designated board game bag has been one of my favorite things. I have one that my parents got me from BoardGameTables.com, which has held up pretty well. The only thing that happened is games are getting heavier, and I was carrying it on the side strap, and that little clasp, the little clip, maybe it was because it was in the cold for too long, I don't know, snapped right off. That wasn't great. Wasn't very happy about that. Snapped right off, landed on the ground, but it was, the games inside were okay, so that was fine. And then I also have like a prototype version of a bag that from Crafting Kingdoms, which I really do like their stuff as well. Their bags I find are pretty good. The thing I don't like about their bags is how it opens. It's designed for bringing big boxes around to make it easier to scoop in, but I really like Board Game Tables kind of opens. I'm gonna come back to you. Board Game Tables opens like that, and then Board Games, Crafting Kingdoms opens like that, and so it can kind of roll even like you can roll it up, but I just don't like rolling it up. I like just being able to open it and not having it all flop on the ground. Kind of just opens and just like is its own self-contained unit. So when you open it like this, there's like a little bit too much more extension, and it just kind of flops on the ground. That's my only caveat with the Crafting Kingdoms one. I think Crafting Kingdoms is also a little bit more expensive, but the inside is nicer. It's like a soft felt. Not a felt, like a fleece blanket almost. And I do like the addition of these pockets on the side as well, because you can cram in either like play mats or additional stuff. So you do get a little bit more real estate if you really want to load it up. I can fit more in this like Crafting Kingdoms because of those side pockets. You can put in like small little games. Both are good though, and it still is one of my favorite things. I probably would recommend the ones from BoardGameTables.com. I should be calling them by their new name. All Play. It's like my favorite board game accessory because it just makes it so easy to take things to other people's houses, and that's what I like to do. So we're 7-4. That's better. That was a better week. Much better week. Let's keep it going for a little bit more. February 15th to 22nd, we're at episode 29 of Crowdfunding Countdown. Ooh, I have Ostia here, and I have Mind Management. Okay, those are the ones that are gonna pop out. That's a solo game. We have a slide puzzle. Okay, we have a thing called Jungle Ball. You're just gonna throw dodgeballs at each other and flicking it. That sounds amazing. I think that should have been the pick. That might have been the pick. I hope it was. Monsters and the Things That Destroy Them. Oh yeah, this has been rebranded to, I forget, but I'm sure we'll find it in a couple years. Same box color, just a different name. And it looks, I think people actually kind of think it's okay. Mind Management Deluxe. People love Mind Management. Again, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I see the benefit of it. So if I made it as a pick, I won't penalize myself too much. Old London Bridge was a Queen Games game that was actually affordable, I think. That looked kind of neat. Again, kind of reprint. Ostia looks like Trajan on steroids, and so I think people have been enjoying Ostia, or they're going to be getting. Oh no, they're going to get it very soon. The Veil. This seems neat. Oh yeah, it's just deck builder. It was like kind of like a campaign deck builder. Covert Cues was just like another social deduction game. Last Resort. Oh, I think I might have picked this one. Oh yeah, because I remember Last Resort seeming cool. Dang, I bet this is going to be another friggin' negative point for me. I can't handle these negative points. I really can't. Because I think there might have been some issues fulfilling Last Resort. When did I do this? It was 2022. Anyway, well, let's keep going. Changan. Was this the one with the boats? Oh yeah, I remember this one. It was like a tableau builder that you're shifting things around. And the one that could look kind of all right. Perfectly good. All right, so that one seems fine. Yeah, just a cute little card grid game. I want to know what you did. All right, pick for me was Ostia, right? I mean, Ostia is sitting at 7.7. I don't think it's yet to be delivered, or some hasn't delivered. Oh yeah, great use of Mancala, many choices. Oh my god, this game is great. So much to think about on the turn. Whoa, this game is awesome. Wish it was more readily available. Yeah, it's I think it's the expansion that's delivering right now. So people have Ostia. So sitting at 7.7, I feel that's pretty good. All right, so that's pick for me. That was pick for me. So that puts me at 8-5, whatever the score is. I don't. 8-4, 8-4, 8-4. Okay, all right. You make a good point there, Past Chris. You hippie. Mind Management was for the deluxe version. I don't think it was worth triple than what you'd pay on retail. And the retail component is fine. Okay, so I can let myself off the hook for that. I feel like it's Last Resort then. Yeah, wouldn't have been Old London Bridge. Oh, I wish it was Jungle Ball. I need to look up Jungle Ball. It was 6.6. Back on Kickstarter, paid too much. Perceived value 10 to 15 would have been a better price. Yeah. Okay, so Last Resort didn't cross its funding and had an issue kind of crossing its funding. And then I think that it had some issues delivering, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think I know some people who backed this, and I think that they, in January 29, 2024, update for Canadian backers, post for backers only. Well, I want to know. Filming is underway. Apologies for the update. They've been loaded. Last Resort production complete. Production, mass production, delay lifted, progress update, production update. Maybe I'm forgetting that it was, yeah, Gamerati. It was delivered by Gamerati. Okay, this is interesting. Update providing my dive into our unfulfilled games. Past few months I've been actively reaching out to Gamerati on behalf of myself and the other Canadian backers who were left without our copies. Today I received a response. Management is considering options, but going into Christmas, it's not the right time to work on this. We'll be back in the spring with an offer to help get these out. It's not going to be pretty. We'll likely have to ship from the USA, meaning prices will be high and customs will not be covered. Based on this, it seems like a solution might be on the table for early next year. However, it's likely the shipping costs will be substantial and we'll need to cover customs and duties ourselves. Yeah, so bad news for Canadian backers. I received the game a few days ago. According to the original campaign zones, the VIP expansion should contain another set of cards. In the box I received, the only cards were the base cards. Yeah, they weren't needed. Oh yeah, we just told you that there would be some exciting things in there, but we just decided not needed. Okay, now good luck. The people who did receive it might have liked it. All right, nobody likes Jungle Ball. That's good. I'm glad I didn't pick it as my pick. However, Last Resort. This one, it's sitting at a 7.2. Kickstarter loved this game. Not a lot of reviews. However, most reviews are at the 8, which is pretty good because if you're gonna like do fake reviews, you're just gonna put in 10s, right? There's a couple 3s and 4s. Not a lot of people who have said stuff at that capacity, right? Interesting. So not a lot of information here. Gamerati, it feels like, really dropped the ball. I wish that I could read this update for Canadian backers so I could know what happened. Just seems like there was just a huge shipping failure from them, but it's also like, Lewis, what the heck are you doing? Get people the games that they paid for. That one's tough, but it was only to a specific region as well, and I don't know what's going on in it. So I'm gonna give myself a nothing here. I could give myself a point for the 7.2, so I'm giving myself that as like potential leeway. I could give myself negative because there are shipping issues for a specific region, not for every region, if we scroll through the comments. So I'm going to give myself a null point here. I still think this did look neat, but I also think that after such intense shipping woes, this can leave a bad taste in people's mouth. Like, if it's just annoying to get at this point, you know, you kind of just go, when it comes, just the feeling of it is tainted. I'm gonna give myself a null point, so we're sitting at 8-4. So I guess we can take the extra minus that we did from Blazon and put it here if we're like balancing the scales. But I stand by this one being kind of like a null example because the other people seem to have gotten it. Arrived in Germany, thanks, perfect campaign. I'm in Germany, received in Switzerland, arrived in Belgium. Yeah, then what about some people who actually bought the expansion? Because I just paid for the base game. I'm one of those, to be honest, I'm just glad the game arrived, given how close BCG got to closing. I don't really mind the small number of base game, only people getting a free expansion, even if I had to pay for it. Yeah, I also understand if there's only like a limited amount of pledges, it just makes sense to upgrade everyone, you know? So 47 people did the base game, and then 187 and 95. Like, so many people did the VIP that it might have been worth not separating them. Oh, phew, I thought I was going to have to do a 5 edition back on this one. All right, so we're giving myself a null point for that. So it's 8 good points to 4 bad points. We're getting better. We're improving, but I'm not gonna just pad the numbers. I'm not gonna give myself a point for that, especially when there's potential issues for some people receiving their game. Even though I couldn't really predict it, and it was just a company that maybe went under, it's a null point, because the people who did get it seem to like it fine. Let's do a couple more. Okay, maybe we're gonna finish this with this one. I think we're gonna finish with this one because I see something in there, and it's unfair. The hacker comic book kaiju thing, and I know I can give myself a point for that, and this just gives me a chance to talk about it. Even with the Gluty Bear and the worst truck. Oh, we had Wreckland Run in there. That's cool. That one did look cool. We had Rolling Heights. I hope I picked Rolling Heights as a pick, because that one I'm still really excited to try. Oh, Changan Life of Gentry. I think this was one with, yeah, that one did seem kind of neat. How's that doing on board game? 7.5, okay. I'm glad my remembrance, because I really like this one in that it's workplace and bag building, but I like that you're creating new opening spots and places that your workers can go to. Seems like there's a little campaign element of it too, which is neat. But that wasn't the pick for me. The pick for me was absolutely the unfair expansion, the CHKO expansion, which, yeah, I'm just so stoked. I've played that one all through. I've been playing a lot of Unfair recently. Astronauts got a shout out because I did a little playthrough of Astronauts, I think. Evolution, New World, I was supposed to review that one, maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, this was one where I did a review as well for Kabula before it got funded, and I didn't pick Kabula as the play, so I also like that. Trekking through history was, yeah, I've played this now, and it's fine. It was just fine. Floating Floors, I remember your little samurais you're trying to jump through, and like a 2-player little abstract game. Academy West Point, the board game. Yeah, that was probably good. But yeah, with the pick for me, which is the Unfair, what is it rated? Well, Unfair, what is Unfair rated, I wonder? Unfair is at a 7.3. I mean, Unfair is so friggin' good. I just love it. But I want to see what the expansions are. Fairy Tale Legend Steampunk Underground? That's going to be the next one? Oh, boy. That says 2025. Are they going to have a Kickstarter, or is it going to go straight to retail? They have to do a Kickstarter, I think. When will the Kickstarter start? Hope it'll be this year. We're getting into testing. Possible, then early next year for sure. We'll be crowdfunding on GameFound, running the Pledge Manager there as well, and removing the confusion that occurred with CHKO. Okay, great. That's the thing of it, is early next year and be pleasantly surprised, yeah. Current plan to limit next crowdfunding campaign to the 1 expansion, so no complications. Honestly, I should send him a message. I should just send him a message. I'd be like, yo, do you want free coverage on this? That's what I just did with Everdell too. I was like, listen, why am I not the first person you call? Because I love your game so much. Okay, sorry. We weren't looking at that. We weren't looking at that one. We were looking at the other expansions. So the first expansion for Unfair is Alien B Movie, sitting at 8.1. Interesting. I imagine the expansions will be higher, right? Because it's rated by people who love the game, people who don't like the game. If you love the game, you're going to get more expansions. If you don't like the first game, you're not going to go through the expansions. The expansions are all just more of the same. So Unfair, you are just building a theme park. I played this recently, and we played with the Alien Unfair deck. It was a 4-player game, so we played Alien, Jungle, Hacker, and Comic Book. So we kind of smashed them all together. And it's the first time there's one blueprint in the Alien one that's so hard to get, and I was able to look at the top card. I saw that it was that one. Nobody took the blueprints action, so I took it, and then I got it. It was worth 99 points. So I broke 300 points in Unfair, which I'd never done before. My best score is 230, which is kind of... Anyway, the contents of this expansion, Unfair, Comic Book Hacker, Kaiju, Ocean, I mean, it's sitting over an 8. So it's a potential 2 point for a good boy over here. I'm still just giving myself 1 point here. These are all great decks. The only one that I wasn't sure about, I'm still not sure about, is the Kaiju. Kaiju, you shouldn't play with 2 players, I think. I've only played that one in a 2-player game. I would want to see what that one would be at a higher player count, but I was too scared to introduce it because it was just such a miserable time because it was so unfair. They replaced some of the events with kaijus, like Godzilla's, that are just attack and destroy your theme park. And so you basically have to spend the whole time just teching up to try to be able to destroy all of these kaiju when they pop up in the in the other phase, and if you don't, then they destroy everybody's park. And so we lost so many points because we didn't fulfill any blueprints. It was just like a miserable experience. But might be good with more people as like you're all doing one hit on the kaiju, and it's a cool idea that every hit you do on the kaiju you get 10 points. So like if you kill a kaiju, you're getting like 50 points, which is pretty good. It's like a blueprint. So you could just not take any blueprints, just focus on defense, get 150 points from killing the kaijus, and then have your coins and your other standard endgame thing. The ocean expansion is a very simple expansion. It feels very much base unfair, and I love that. It was a nice one to ease into. The hacker one just adds Wi-Fi symbols to your park, so which interact with certain things. Some people can steal money from you depending upon the number of Wi-Fi symbols that you have. They can hack in. This is kind of a fun one. And then Comic Book adds in a new kind of super attraction called your Mastermind. And so everybody gets a mastermind that they can get, and they can not build a super attraction, but use the mastermind's like super powerful ability, which you're getting items to power up staff members in your park. And if you get to like 3 power, you can do the mastermind super ability, but then you have to discard them forever. So normally it's about getting a whole whack load of coins, which I think is interesting. And there's a lot of flexibility for completing your blueprints. I ended up pivoting and choosing my mastermind because I was like, oh no, I need to find these very specific cards for this one insane blueprint. And so then I was going through and playing with them. Anyway, I really like Unfair. It's in my top 10 games of all time. The last time I did it, it was number 5. I should do my 50 top games, hey? Really? That's probably something that should happen at some point. Maybe when I get back from some conventions. But yeah, I think it's really great. It's so fun. I was so excited. I bought it here. I backed it on Kickstarter to support them, even though I had to pay more in shipping. And I'm gonna back the next one on Kickstarter because I think it supports them the best. You know, I love this game so much. I love that there's so much content. The one letdown is they're like, here's a big box solution, and their big box solution was like, turn your deck sideways and you can fit 26 of them in there. And I'm like, well, then you just have a big like lid lift box. It's not a big box solution. It's a Horde solution actually. But other than that, I think Unfair is just so much fun. So yeah, super delightful. And that's why I wanted to end out on this episode, because I just got so excited talking about Unfair. So what are we at? 9 to 4. Let's see the pick for you. I picked Rolling Heights. Sweet. I know that one's doing well because I'm still stoked to try it. At one point they were 7.5. Okay. At one point this is John D. Clare, who's designed a heck of a lot of stuff. I love the uniqueness. You just chuck your meeples, you roll them, and then they can do different things if they're standing or if they aren't. I think that's so funny. And I did an interview with John D. Clare, and we talked about like game design, and he's like, I just thought that was a unique way of using the pieces. So Rolling Heights, I think I got a point for that. I am actively interested in trying this. AEG was going to send this to me at one point, and then they sent me Verdant instead. And then they said, well, we're not sending anything else out ever. But AEG is one where I'm like, you can probably send me anything and I'd probably like it. It did look like I said Astronauts here too as well. Yeah, I was like, you could do Astronauts or you could just buy Aeon's End right now. And I still stand by that, even though Astronauts has done really well. How did Wreckland Run do? I know people didn't like it as much as Warp's Edge. 7.2. So yeah, I'm still winning with the Rolling Heights. There are a lot of ways that I could win this week too. I guess that we'll probably just get some good weeks where I have a lot to choose from. But I'm really happy with my pick of Rolling Heights. Looking back, I think Rolling Heights has done really well. I know people who have played it and who have really enjoyed it. It's still one that I'm like actively excited to try, and I've been trying to get less review copies in because honestly, because a lot of reviews people don't want to watch them on YouTube unless you're looking for that specific game. So I try not to do too many reviews because I also want to make sort of wider appeal content and ways to just hang out with you all and do like lists and stuff, which are always, that's what I gravitate to on YouTube as well. If I'm just going to watch something for interest and for entertainment, and I like to potentially have some entertainment there. So yeah, okay, Rolling Heights. So I do get a point for that. So my final score for this week, or this section, 7 episodes, I guess, that we went through, which is about a good average. I think it's a good place to stop just because of my enjoyment for Unfair. Nothing's going to top that for me, so we can start fresh next time. Is 10 to 4, bringing our total tally to 38 to 15. 53 points have been given. I'm still sitting at around a 72% success rate. So that's an average for me. 71.7 is what it is right now. It's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe we can improve. I know I looked a little bit ahead because I was like, oh, Earth is next. Maybe we'll finish with Earth. Earth is in two episodes, so I know I'll get a point for that because I friggin' called the crap out of that. I called everybody's enjoyment. And I made it the pick for you as well, which I think I should get a bonus point for not making it a pick for me. And emphasizing that it was picked for you because of the good price and how much it's resonated with a wider audience, and how for me I was like, yeah, it's just good. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited about that later, but I figure we'll call it here. Oh, so happy that we got to Unfair. I remember being so excited about Unfair, and the fact that the next expansion might be upcoming. I gotta contact them, see if I can get an early copy and do a review or something. Or maybe I should do an Unfair video. Maybe I should just do a general Unfair video and rank the decks, and then rank my prediction of where the other ones will come in. I don't know. Maybe that'd be interesting. That'd be a nicer way to do an Unfair review and talk about my favorite game. One of my favorite games, because I like having that content out there, especially like I like my reviews to be. I just did one for charcuterie because I wanted to talk about charcuterie, and so I like the reviews to not be as much obligation sometimes. But usually I don't accept review copies for games where I'm not interested in them to begin with, right? Because there's no point in me saying like, yeah, your game looks horrible, please send it my way so I can waste my time with it. I usually want to be like, yeah, it looks like it has potential, and then if it's awful, I'll say it's awful. If it's not awful, I'll say it's not awful. So there we go. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching and sticking with it. I appreciate you. Next week, we will start again with Crowdfunding Countdown for your regularly scheduled Monday enjoyment. And then we'll put a pause on this retrospective, which is good. Let Ancient Blood and things from 3 years ago make sure that they're finished fulfilling. And whenever we have a little bit of a lull, we'll come back to it with renewed points given. Right now, 38 times I was a good boy, and 13 times I was a naughty, wicked, bad boy. We'll see how that continues in 2025. Thanks for watching. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase. And I know you all don't have a comment.